guys, how's it going? Today we are going to be talking about cameras, okay? And not just cameras, we're talking about how to get started into photography. What's the best camera to use? What software do I need? What do I need to purchase to start in photography? And they always tell you the gear doesn't make the photographer, right? Which is very true. So I always tell everyone, I get tons of DMs on Instagram asking what's the best camera to use, what I need to get started, and all these different questions like that. And so I always tell them the exact same thing. You want a full framed camera and you want a decent lens, and you don't want to break the bank in the process of doing so. So the best thing to do, I always tell people, Canon doesn't matter, Nikon doesn't matter, Sony doesn't matter. They're all fantastic camera brands. They make great cameras. Each operating system is going to be different, you know? And so it's really just finding what's best for you. I'm a Canon guy. I like Canons, but that's where I started. And so typically where you start is where you're going to stay, right? Nikon users will tell you the exact same thing. They started on a Nikon. That's why they're still with Nikon. They know how to use their cameras. That's the colors that they like, and so that's what they went with. And so I can kind of tell you, with Canon, their colors are going to be warmer. Nikon's going to be more to the green. And then Sony's got really solid blacks. I don't really know their color grading too much as far as like what their RAWs kind of, push toward. If you're going to be a Canon user like me, I'm not going to recommend Nikon and Sony because I don't use their cameras, so I don't really know what's going to be the best fit for that. The camera that I always tell people to start with, if they're wanting to be a serious photographer, is a Canon 6D Mark II. It is the perfect full frame camera to get started in photography. And I have tons of Canon cameras. I actually just recently sold a 6D Mark I, which is old school. They don't even make those anymore. And then I sold my old Mark III. A lot of people moved from the Mark III to the Mark IV, and some people didn't even like the Mark IV, so they moved back to the Mark III. Now, Canon has come out with their mirrorless line of cameras, which are very impressive. I use this one for video. This is the EOS R, and fantastic. It's a little bit different as far as user interface. Most cameras have like the little scroll wheel and the little dial on the back, and I'll show you that right now. So you notice it has the scroll wheel right here, and this little dial up here that helps you move your focal point around on the camera. I love having that usability, especially whenever I'm up here and I can just kind of move it around where I need to go. So I always tell people a 6D Mark II and a 50mm 1.8 lens. And the reason why I tell people to start with those is that the camera is still going to be semi-expensive. It's going to be close to $1,000, if not a little bit more. But the lens is what really makes the difference. The lens is going to be what really makes your photos creamy or just looks like garbage. Most cameras that you buy are going to come with this little kit, rinky-dink lens, and it's an absolute garbage can. If you can, buy the camera body by itself. Don't buy the lens with it. Just get the camera body. It's going to save you some money, and all you're going to use that lens for is a really cheap paperweight because it's crap. So I always tell people get the 50 1.8. I think it's around a $200 lens, maybe $100 to $200 lens. And I'll explain more about like what f-stop, the 1.8 means in a different video, just to kind of give you guys an idea. What I'm really starting on this channel is educational videos for intro photographers, for intermediate and potentially advanced photographers. Most advanced photographers, a lot, so it's not like you really need this intro to photography type stuff, but there's a lot of people out there who are wanting to get into photography and they don't know what they need to get started. So here you go. Now, I will include in the link below a link to camera, lenses, everything that you need. Now, you're probably thinking, what's next? Okay, I've taken the photos. Now what do I do? Well, honestly, you got this little thing right here, your iPhone, Samsung, whatever. They all come with, you can get the app called Lightroom Mobile. And Lightroom Mobile is free. It's really easy to use, and it uses their Creative Cloud. So whatever that is, they use Creative Cloud, so it goes across all your devices and you can edit from anywhere. So I'll literally take photos around the house on my camera of my kids, my wife and our kids and stuff like that together. Instead of bringing it back to my computer and going into Lightroom and doing all the heavy editing and presets, because that's not fun for me as a professional photographer that shoots weddings almost every weekend, sometimes 2 or 3 a weekend. So editing my family photos is not fun. It makes it feel like work for me. So in order to make it more mobile and fun for me, I started just popping them out and putting them on my phone, editing in Lightroom Mobile. The iPhone, and I'm sure Samsung, I don't use an Android. Obviously, I'm an iPhone user, but there's an app called the EOS Utility that you can download on your phone, and you can connect to your camera via Wi-Fi, and you can download whatever photos you want to your phone, and then you can edit all those photos in Lightroom, put whatever presets you want on them, whatever you want to do, and that's what makes it really fun and easy. There's tons and tons of resources out there for Lightroom Mobile presets you can get for free. You can make some yourself. I personally have made my own Lightroom preset that I actually use for all of my photos. I sell it on my website. I'll include the link down below. That's not me trying to sell. I'm marketing, of course, always. But the thing is, it's a one-click edit. It makes it really clean and simple, and that's just the way I like to do it. To rewind, we're going to go back. We're going to get a Canon 6D Mark II, a Canon 50mm 1.8 lens, and then just use Lightroom Mobile on our phones. If you have any questions regarding what software you need to get on your computer, feel free to message me. Feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. That's really it for my intro into photography. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'd be happy to make a new video answering all those questions, or even just respond to them if they're pretty easy in the comments. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you guys have a great day.